a good run, though. Also, I saw a picture of him. He took his helmet off, and he has so much gray hair. I was like, when did this happen to Joe Mauer?
Well, I mean, he's got to be close to 40 now, though.
Yeah, but I didn't notice that it was happening.
Yeah.
That also tells you that I don't really watch the Twins. But
yeah.
my God, I mean, because I remember rookie Joe Mauer. He was cool.
The Satanic Temple sues Netflix over Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Okay, I saw this. This is outstanding. Please read. Don't just read this headline. Tell the folks about this because this is outstanding. And then I'm going to break down the story.
Okay. The Satanic Temple is suing Netflix and Warner Brothers Entertainment for $150 million for using what the temple leaders call their copyrighted, in parentheses, copyrighted goat head statue in the new series. The suit argues that the temple unique version of the Baphomet, I can't.
Yeah, no, that's right.
That's better than I can say it. Mm-hmm.
Appeared in the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, a reboot of Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Okay, couple of things here.
Not today, Satan.
No, not today, Satan. Couple of things here. One, I did also read that they were worried that it was going to like besmirch the name of the Satanic Church.
Huh.
You are Satanists.
There's nothing left to besmirch.
Rip your headphones off. Rip your headphones off.
I'm sorry, you don't have a good name as it is. You're drinking goat blood and you're sacrificing things. It's not probably a good idea to sue Netflix for using your stupid goat head.
And so here's the thing, because I actually thought they had a good point when they pulled a stunt last year, which is that they had the 10 Commandments outside of the not the Supreme Court, but a courthouse.
Go balls, Mark.
And so
yeah, my buddies from college. Yeah,
they put their statue, the same one they're suing for, the Baphomet with children. There's two kids.
Yes,
in the,
I saw that. Yeah.
And the whole point they were trying to make is if you can put one religious symbol out there, even if the other one is completely despicable, it should be allowed there too. I don't think they're wrong because that's how America ought to work.
Agreed.
But to turn around and then sue somebody over it, that's where you just go crazy because then it's like, what are you talking about? You like just do churches just go crosses? You can't put those in movies because that's kind of our thing.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Catholic Church. We're gonna. It's like the Pope coming out and being like, we're gonna sue the movie. We're gonna sue Mel Gibson for creating Passion of the Christ.
Because or HBO has a show called The Young Pope, starring Jude Law as the young Pope.
That's outstanding in itself. Yeah. I need to watch this show.
Oh, you do. It's really good
to pay for HBO.
but also, they used all the symbols of the Catholic Church. Like, you can't just sue over. Like, this is every religion has to do this. Like, every time a Star of David is in a movie, you don't just sue people if you're.
Again,
yeah, it's not like Israel goes, oh no,
copyright. Here's the bigger problem. The fact that one. Okay, so if you haven't watched any of this show, I haven't watched it, but I kind of understand. I did after
it's just a reboot of Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
It is, but it's more of a darker reboot.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch originally was pretty goofy, lighthearted. And
if you also knew that, if you didn't know that,
I had a crush on Melissa Joan Hart growing up.
Yeah,
you and everyone else.
The actual Sabrina the Teenage Witch originated in Archie Comics a long time ago, decades ago. So it's been a long running thing. However, this is a darker take. Netflix, doing some of that kind of stuff. Good for Netflix. Satanic Church. I'm sorry. The first thing I think of when I think of Satanic Church is not let's do things legal. Again, they're trying to be legal and be like, well, this is how this is our copyright.
Versus what? Going and just strong arming the money away?
No, as in just letting it be because at least your stupid symbols getting pub. And maybe they're just using this as a publicity stunt.
Honestly, I think that's what it is. But also, they're one of the few, and I'm just going to go religious groups in quotes here, that they're one of the few that has been able to make their symbol and be around to copyright it. Like, by the time most religious groups have gotten started, by the time it could occur to someone, hey, we could copyright the cross. It's already, it's been several thousand years, and also copyright law didn't exist at the time, and all the other obstacles.
One more headline for you. One more. 69-year-old Dutch man attempts to legally lower 69.
Nice.
Oh, I saw the story. Oh, this is beautiful.
Attempts to lower his age legally to 49.
Do you know why?
Does he say because he didn't feel like he was 69?
No, he said because he was having trouble finding dates on Tinder because no one wants to date a 69-year-old. So he wants to be 49 on Tinder because that'll help with the whole dates thing.
Doesn't change the fact you're 69 years old.
Exactly. So I'm sorry. We've gone too far. I'm still not going to comment on the fact that if you are a man and you say that you identify as a woman, I'm simply not going to fight you on that because I just don't know how you feel inside. But your age is your age. You cannot move the date on which you were born. That doesn't make any sense.
You can't change math.
Yeah. You were born on a certain date.
And you can't do it.
And you're 100% correct.
Because if that's the case, how about I just move my age backwards so I can start getting AARP stuff for free?
I also want to say, I'm just going to take my age to 65 so I can retire.
Don't you have to have money to retire?
That's the thing.
We work in radio.
You still have money. So we're never going to have it. But the point is, like, you just can't decide you're 20 years younger when you wake up one day. Like, because here's the thing. Like, he's not like a bad looking guy, but he looks his age. Like, you're going to go on Tinder. It's going to say 49 and you're still going to look old. So what then? Like what do you
this means this guy, okay, so if he's 69 years old, that means he was born in what? That would put him at like 49 at 1949. So he's saying instead that he was born in 1969. So those 20 years just didn't happen.
Right. How do you explain that? And also, are you giving back like?
What about that math? By the way, did that in my head?
Yeah, I know, right?
I was thinking about it the whole time.
I haven't did the fingers backer just make sure you're right.
But no, he's like, what? So anything that you did in those 20 years, college degrees, are you giving that stuff back or what? Like, what's the deal there?
Did it not count?
I don't know.
Is it not real?
He's not saying. He just wants to be 49 so he can get dates on Tinder. Which I also have to think is like you have to think in your life maybe higher than Tinder. Maybe put those goals a little.
Simple solution. Pack your stuff. Move to the United States because there's a bunch of younger women who dig the old guys.
Where's he at? Where is he?
He's Dutch.
He's Dutch.
Netherlands.
The Netherlands.
Wait, Tinder's in the Netherlands.
Oh, Tinder's everywhere. Tinder is everywhere,
including Antarctica.
Well, maybe not.
Are there people there?
Researchers, scientists.
But they all know each other, don't they? I mean, they're all like in the same spot.
I don't have the specific headline, but there was one researcher that had to be hospitalized in Antarctica because his research mate beat him up. Why did his research mate beat him up?
Now,
he spoiled the ending of a book.
Well, I mean, to be fair,
that's all that's there.
Yeah. Look, I mean, you gotta go with what you got, and you don't have a lot in Antarctica. And if somebody ended, I would beat the crap out of them.
What would the Tinder headline be in Antarctica? Frigid blank seeking blank.
A frigid penguin.
You would definitely
definitely
have to get creative. You give me an hour and I can figure some stuff out, and we can roll with it. We can create a fake Tinder account and be in Antarctica.
I mean, you're not going to find many humans. Also,
you'll have like a King Charles penguin too.
Most Antarctic researchers, are men. Kind of a sausage fest going on down there.
Okay, so grind in Antarctica
then. Okay, so we're going to move on. Moving on. Any other headlines, Jason Kirk?
No. Okay. This segment went to hell. So.
we need to make a liner for the headlines, though.
I love this, though. I love this. I think this is a great idea. It's actually a show I listened to. I'll be honest. I kind of took this idea. I love it. I think it's cool. It gives you some talking points, and it's funny.
What about the woman who is wanting to marry a ghost?
Wait, what?
God,
you're gonna
hang on.
Let me look at that.
Okay, now. I'll sit here and look for some sports headlines.
There's a British woman who has allegedly had sex with several ghosts and is now married or wanting to marry one.
How is that possible?
I mean,
she wants to marry.
Is it Demi Moore?
No. Hang on.
My only answer to that is let her, because think about it.
Woman who
She's not hurting anybody.
She's not transmitting anything.
Exactly.
Woman. Here's the headline. Here's the headline. Woman who claims to have sex with 20 ghosts is now engaged to one.
So how did she decide that was the ghost that she was going to settle down with?
Okay. Here we go. She says that ghost lovers tend to be more sensual and adept to more than the average bloke, and her mate appeared on an Austrian hike.
Okay. So I'm just saying she has I'm trying to figure out how to word this so the FCC doesn't crush us. She has had fun times with several
relations,
supernatural beings. And all I'm saying is, how did she decide this was the one?
Let's read on to the article.
I like how
a spirited fleeing with an Austrian ghost has ended up in true love for an English woman. In fact, the ghost just proposed and she wants the living world to know. Amethyst Realm, 30 of Bristol, says she had sex with at least 20 ghosts since she was a teenager, but wasn't looking for a new relationship when she went to Austria on a business
and here's the thing that absolutely I find crazy. She does not describe these encounters as dates. So it's not like she's meeting these ghosts and taking the time to get to know them. She is simply skipping straight to the hot stuff, and she's decided based on exactly one of those encounters, she's marrying one.
Well, I wonder what this ghost Tinder account look like. Is it like a picture of Casper? Swipe.
I don't know. How can a ghost propose to you? Do you buy yourself the ring? It doesn't have money. There's so many logistical questions here that don't have answers, and we're never going to know the answer. Like, she's not going to explain it properly.
I couldn't believe it, and I was happy and excited. So excited that we had to do something about it. So we headed to the plane. Lou, she told the Sun. And now I'm a member of the Mile High Club.
You're not. No. Here's the thing. Two people, two physical, actual human beings. You cannot, you don't get to join the Mile High Club by yourself.
Huh. There's so many questions, and we're going to have to talk about.
Yeah, we're just going to have to let it go.
Yep. This is great.
We're just going to have to let it go.
This went off the rails real quick.
Look, you invited random news stories into your show.
But I mean, it's interesting though, right? Like, I mean, it's not like it's look, I know it's not sport. Oh my. All right, here's one. I got
no.
Fly Jamaica flight overshoots runway at
Guyana Airport. I'm from Guyana. Not my country.
Well, the good news is we can laugh because 6 passengers suffered non-life-threatening injuries, so they're not hurt.
It's only funny when you're hurt, not when you're dead.
Wow. What was the pilot high?
I don't know. A Fly Jamaica Boeing 757 airliner heading for Toronto made an emergency landing at the Georgetown, Guyana International Airport after the pilot reported problems with the plane's hydraulic system.
Also, that's the only airport in all of Guyana. just pointing that out.
The pilot of Fly Jamaica flight OJ256.
There's your problem right there.
OJ
Simpson flying the plane. No, he wasn't.
OJ Simpson,
which was carrying 120 passengers and 8 crew, requested permission to return to Chetty
Jagan International Airport.
Thank you. Soon after takeoff, Guyana officials said at a news conference the plane landed at Georgetown. Chetty. Yeah, well, whatever. I'm going to research this a little bit more.
Here's the question: was he part of the Jamaican bobsled team?
I mean,
probably not.
It kind of looks like it.
I mean, he did eventually join the team, and that is a sort of bobsled.
Yeah, I was only interested in that headline because of the picture. So sorry, Radio World, that you didn't get to see the picture, but that was outstanding. Well, we'll be right back.
That's how his books look too. He's only excited about.
We'll be right back after the national news. 92.7 FM.
Traffic, news, and information. Nuga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM. 3, 2, 1. Chatter. Nuga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
16 alleged members of the Ghostface Gangsters gang were arrested in Georgia, spread out across northwest Georgia in areas including Rossville, Ringgold, and Lafayette. The Drug Task Force says that they've been involved in drug deals. The Georgia Street Gang and Terrorism Prevention Act is what allowed for their arrest. They'll be tried in Walker County. Firefighters saved an apartment on Mitchell Avenue. The fire department spokesman Bruce Garner told the press that they arrived to find a porch completely engulfed in flames. They managed to put the fire out in just a few minutes. If they hadn't, the whole building would have been consumed. The WWTA canceled its Thursday night meeting and instead opted to talk to homeowners individually on Man Gap Road, where they hope to build a wastewater treatment plant, although homeowners in the area are protesting. An FAQ was placed on the WWTA's website. Russell Stroud, Nuga Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News now.
Sean Hannity, weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 p.m. on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nuga Radio 92.7. Nuga Radio, Chattanooga weather.
Expect a cool, wet, and foggy start to your Friday. Areas of morning rain will taper off by the afternoon. Highs actually will drop into the 40s later on tonight. Breezy, much colder, lows into the lower 30s. For Saturday, more sun, highs only 45 to 48 with a freeze likely by Sunday morning. It's apple season, and now is a great time to visit Apple Valley Orchards in Cleveland for some of the freshest apple cider and fried pies around. Open daily. Apple Valley Orchards, 472-3044. And I'm Soren Jean Thrall, Chief Meteorologist, Patrick 4.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
Your home is a constant work in progress. Repaint the walls? Yeah, easy enough. Leaky faucet? There's a video for that. But roof repair? You might want some help. That's where Chattanooga Roofing Contractors come in. They have 3 generations of roofing excellence you can count on. Leave the ladder in the garage. Go to chatroofing.com. That's chatroofing.com for Chattanooga Roofing Contractors, a roofing company you can trust.
My ex recently hacked my email and my social media, and it really caused me some problems. I changed all my passwords, which helped, but I'm still getting trolled, maybe even stalked. I know it's him. I just can't prove it.
My business, well, it's been broken into twice already. I've got cameras, but that only helps after the fact. I'd rather prevent it from happening in the first place.
Unity One East is your solution to these and many other security concerns. With private investigation, security services, and backed by decades of real-life experience in military and law enforcement, Unity One East is your instant contact for security, investigation, and consultation to help protect you, your family, and your business. No 1-800 number, no red tape, no wait, because Unity One East is local and available 24/7. Reclaim your peace of mind. Call Unity One East, 475-6206, 475-6206.
Whether you have marginal, moderate, or even extensive hair loss, you don't have to live with it. Finally, there's a procedure that becomes a part of you, and it requires no daily maintenance or special care. Let Apollo Hair Systems give you a free hair and scalp analysis today. Call 423-803-1011 and schedule this free evaluation today. Open Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Friday and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Apollo Hair Systems, 5512 Ringgold Road in Chattanooga. 423-803-1011 for Apollo Hair Systems.
Life is complicated. The Salto Agency is simple. And that's something very good to know in a world where insurance decisions are all too complicated. Taylor Salto and his team at Farmers Insurance will work with you to identify the insurance coverage that best suits your needs and provide a custom tailored solution to your home, life, auto, or business insurance. At the Salto Agency, you can get all your insurance in one simple location. Let the Salto Agency provide peace of mind so that you know that you and your family will be cared for properly. Stop
WPLZ HD4 Ottawa, W224AZ Chattanooga.
Serving Chattanooga.
Broadcasting live from the center of the universe, the Tennessee Valley's most listened to news talk station.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by ZipRecruiter.
I'm Jim Taylor. Paradise Lost.
When they say paradise is lost, it's because next to everything is gone. We're talking everyone's home. Almost every elementary school. There's one elementary school still standing, but 3 others destroyed. The middle school, the high school.
That's KOVR TV reporter Jen McGraw in what remains of the town of Paradise, Northern California. CBS's David Begnaud is there, where flames raged, killing at least 9.
5 miles north of Paradise, Tisha Arroyo and her grandfather decided to stay behind.
You got to get out of here. Why are you staying?
I thought I could save my house.
What?
I thought I could save my house.
They watched helplessly as their home burned.
I've been trying to get him to leave. Yeah. I don't want to be here.
Southern California wildfires forcing evacuation of more than 250,000 people there. A presidential tweet a few hours ago, there is no reason, the president says, for these massive, deadly, costly forest fires in California, except that forest management is so poor. Billions of dollars, he says, are given each year with so many lives lost, all because of gross mismanagement of the forest. Remedy now, he says, or no more Fed payments. Bienvenue à France. President Trump and the First Lady welcomed to Paris by French President Macron and his wife. And despite their well-known differences, the two men sharing some smiles and some handshakes and some talking about NATO.
We want to absolutely be there. We want to help. We want to be a part of it. But different countries have to also help. That's only fair. And I think the president, we've already discussed this, and the president and I very much agree on that.
We are learning more about what the Turkish government knows about the death of Jamal Khashoggi.
Turkish President Erdogan says he's given recordings of the murder of Saudi critic and journalist Jamal Khashoggi to the U.S., Germany, France, Britain, and Saudi Arabia. He says he knows who carried out the killing within the Saudis' Istanbul consulate and wants 18 Saudis extradited to Turkey to face justice. Last week, Turkey said Khashoggi was strangled and his body dismembered. Larry Miller, CBS News.
In the Democratic Weekly Address, Connecticut Senator Chris Murphy is boasting of Democratic wins in the midterm elections and about health care.
Congressional Republicans have a choice to make now. Continue down their path of sabotage or work with Democrats to lower healthcare costs and expand access to quality care.
Banned in Britain.
There's a human in my forest.
This advertisement for the Iceland grocery store chain, voiced by actress Emma Thompson. The animation and emotional appeal to save the endangered orangutan deemed too political. This is CBS News.
ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified candidates for businesses of all sizes. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hi, it's Patti LaBelle with a tip on making breakfast even better with Eggland's Best. Now, you know not all eggs are created equal, right? If you only want the best tasting, freshest, and the most nutritious eggs for yourself and your family, replace those ordinary eggs with Eggland's Best. Eggland's Best eggs have 25% less saturated fat, 6 times more vitamin D, 10 times more vitamin E, and so much more. That's why I only use Eggland's Best in my house.
Hey, listen up. Now 11 is your new favorite number because at Aaron's, just $11 gets you started leasing to own until the 11th. That's right. Hurry to your local Aaron's store or Aaron's.com and pick from a wide range of TVs, washers and dryers, bedrooms, and more. From the best brands like LG, Philips, and Samsung. Just $11 gets you started on your choice of furniture, electronics, and appliances from November 3rd through the 11th. At Aaron's, at participating stores, transaction advertised as a rental purchase agreement. Some restrictions apply.
They've been dating since 2010, and now...
John Mellencamp has a lot to sing about these days. The 67-year-old is about to get hitched to Hollywood sweetheart Meg Ryan. The 56-year-old actress was out showing off her engagement ring in New York with her trademark blonde hair worn down and classy black sunglasses. Ryan shared the news on Instagram, writing "engaged" next to a cute little cartoon of the two reaching for each other's hands. The two dated for 3 years, broke up in 2014, and got back together last year. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
Uber taking a step aimed at making riders feel safer when it comes to your personal identity. The company instituting a new guideline prohibits drivers from broadcasting your image. New rules put into place at the end of September still allows drivers to use video cameras, dash cameras, other recording devices, but those images just for security, not to be broadcast. I'm Jim Taylor, CBS News.
I'm pretty...
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio, Digital FM 95.3 HD4, 92.7 FM's news now.
A deadly car wreck left a vehicle scattered in pieces at 24 westbound the Tennessee-Georgia line. It happened on Friday afternoon. Law enforcement says that a pickup truck crashed into a semi-truck. The semi's front end was completely obliterated, and the pickup truck was barely recognizable. One as-yet unidentified person was killed in that crash. An electrical fire forced the evacuation of the McDonald's on Hicks and Pike. It happened on Friday afternoon. Firefighters say that an electrical junction box in the basement caught on fire. They had to use chemical extinguishers to put the fire out. No word on when they'll be back in business. Just a reminder, the Tennessee Valley and northwest Georgia are under a freeze warning for this weekend. Meteorologists expect temperatures will get down even into the 20s during the nighttime hours. Remember to bring your pets inside. Russell Stroud, Nooga Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News now.
Chattanooga Morning News with Russ and Val. Weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on Nooga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nooga Radio, Chattanooga weather.
Expect a cool, wet, and foggy start to your Friday. Areas of morning rain will taper off by the afternoon. Highs actually will drop into the 40s later on tonight. Breezy, much colder, lows into the lower 30s. For Saturday, more sun, highs only 45 to 48 with a freeze likely by Sunday morning. It's apple season, and now is a great time to visit Apple Valley Orchards in Cleveland for some of the freshest apple cider and fried pies around. Open daily. Apple Valley Orchards, 472-3044. And I'm Soren Jean Thrall, Chief Meteorologist at your 4.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
We just started a family and we're already planning for the future. Michael Levy has helped pave the way to keep our financial future on track. He's local, he knows us, and cares about what's important to us. Don't put your future on hold. Call Michael Levy, 779-7755.
Gold, 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 and more gold. And always buy American. At Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, you'll always get better rates than the banks. We'll convert your silver, diamonds, cash into gold, gold, gold. Precious American gold. Certified by the federal government. Buy American. Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds. 499-9162. Call 499-9162. And visit Rick at 5301 Brainerd Road, Chattanooga. Gold, 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 and more gold.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
Welcome back to the Breakfast Blitz. I'm Nick Leffew, again, joined beside me, Keon Rose, Jason Kirk in the back. How's it going, Backbench?
I'm sorry, you referring to somebody?
Yeah, your new nickname is Backbench.
That seems like a very large promotion. You went from Captain Kirk to backbench, and I feel bad.
24 hours.
All right.
And in not even a full day.
Well, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. Speaking of things that are what it is, a tank of gas is now more expensive than a ticket to see the Cleveland Browns this weekend.
Well, I mean, Cleveland Browns are
Where are they playing?
I don't know.
Who are they playing now? Who cares?
You're the football guy.
Hey, while Keon does some research, this is outstanding. Our four-letter network friends, teams that simply, and this is a college football headline, teams that simply cannot lose this weekend. Well, would that be all of them? I feel like nobody.
Yeah, nobody should want
lose.
to. Nobody should want to lose.
How about teams that cannot win this weekend?
Yeah, well, so
yeah.
It says looking ahead.
That's a shot across the bow.
It says Ohio State cannot lose this weekend. Well, duh. I mean, if they lose this weekend, their season's out. Clemson Tigers cannot lose this weekend.
Well,
I mean, you're number 2 in the country. Yeah, you probably shouldn't lose.
Is Ohio State really going to lose to Michigan State?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. They're a train wreck.
They and defensively, it's a nightmare. They can't stop anybody.
There is Dwayne Haskins, and then nobody else on that team. I mean, they can't run the ball.
Well, I hope they're a dumpster fire then.
They are a dumpster fire, and that's why Urban Meyer. Okay, look, we're gonna break this down. I feel like we do this every week, but this is why Urban Meyer is setting it up. He's setting up the fact that he's not going to be back next year. I would put money on the fact he's not back.
I heard the cardiologist was on standby.
And of course it is. It's not the cardiologist anymore. Now it's his assistant's brain.
Oh yeah.
Which is smart. Don't repeat the same illness. Okay, it's my heart. Well, if they sorted out your heart, then it probably shouldn't be your heart again. Though I think brain is too high an escalation.
Especially something they said he's had since he was born.
Yeah, that's and
it's never bothered you.
Never before.
It's never given you a problem.
Right. This is the Urban Meyer way.
He's smart, man. He's smart. He does this. He sees things are about to fall apart for him at Ohio State. Now, if you're Ohio State, if he leaves, what do you do?
Nothing.
Where do you go?
Lose lots.
Les Miles?
No.
That's God, no. 68-year-old Wes Miles, no. Less is more.
In his entire tenure at LSU, could never find a quarterback outside of maybe Zach Mettenberger because I feel like he stumbled onto Jamarcus Russell. And
Jamarcus Russell was early in his tenure there too. That was like year 2 or 3 for him.
Zach Mettenberger was the only quarterback he ever found, and in the 10 years that he was there. Meanwhile, Ed Orgeron is there for 2-3 years. Already has one. Yeah,
no big deal. Obviously, things did not go well for them last week. However, has it gone well for anybody who's played Alabama?
No, it has not.
And will it go well for anybody who's playing Alabama the rest of the year? No. Although this matchup with Mississippi State does intrigue me for one reason and one reason only, and it's because Nick Fitzgerald is the type of quarterback that always gives Alabama problems. Not saying Mississippi State's going to have a chance to really win the ball game. I don't think they do, but I think it could be interesting early just because they're going to have to find a way to contain Nick Fitzgerald.
Yep, and their secondary. This is the weakest of the Alabama secondaries, which is to say, still pretty strong.
I mean, Jarrett Garantano was throwing on him when he had time to throw the football. So
yeah, then your Nick Fitzgerald,
Keller Christ was as well. So
you're gonna be able to buy time with your feet. I really think that this could be a very interesting game. Obviously, they're not going to win, but there's an interest level here that looking forward to it too.
It might be the smallest margin of victory Alabama's had all year, I believe, which is right now 29, where they beat LSU last week, 29-0. Whoops.
If LSU could have scored at all, that game would have been vaguely interesting. Because defensively...
if LSU could have gotten past the 50.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, man. Like, I feel like, obviously, they were probably overlooking Tennessee a little bit. But the fact that Tennessee put up 21 points on them.
Yeah, it's possible to do it. You just need a quarterback with a strong arm, the desire to throw the ball downfield, which you got to give it to Garantano. He loves to do that. And then, a little bit of mobility. And you look at historically the quarterbacks that have had success against Alabama, just in terms of total passing yardage. You've got Austin Allen and Deshaun Watson and Johnny Manziel, and just look like they're all mobile guys that throw the ball downfield and extend plays.
Yeah, Chad Kelly. Don't forget
Chad Kelly. Yeah,
don't forget Chad Kelly.
Who got himself booted from the NFL, but
high school and college.
Yeah, I just thought the NFL would be different. And I don't know why.
People don't change, man. People don't change.
You were Mr. Irrelevant in the draft.
People can change small things, but they can't change the root of who they are. Like that doesn't change.
It's so pessimistic, but yeah.
Florida State and Notre Dame, another game that cannot be lost by Notre Dame.
Notre Dame can't lose, period.
Their schedule is not strong enough.
No, Notre Dame loses a game, they're not making the playoff. Notre Dame, no Ian Book this week. I think they're more worried about next week against Syracuse at Yankee Stadium, which still blows my mind that they're doing that, and then they're wearing those god-awful pinstripe uniforms. And
I actually don't watch that game on purpose. It hurts my eyes.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch that either. I'm interested to see Florida State. Florida State has a couple of players on defense that are really good. Offensively, they struggle. They might have the only offensive line that's worse than Tennessee's. Might be Florida State's in Power 5 football.
I can see that. Yeah.
I hate it for those quarterbacks to Florida State, DeAndre Francois and Blackman. Not what's his first name? Starts with a J. Jared Blackman. Either way, Blackman and Francois.
Francois was just getting the tar beaten out of him.
I mean, we saw it last year against Alabama in Week 1 when he got hurt. He was getting hit all over the place. I mean, that's just their offensive line is atrocious.
That poor kid.
And it's really sad because I feel like DeAndre Francois is a special talent, and he's just not getting to show it. However, don't think that game's really going to even be an issue. Brandon Wimbush is good enough to beat that Florida State team.
That's true. I feel like I could beat that Florida State team. I wouldn't throw the ball.
I mean, they probably won't even have to much. Florida State's defense is okay. Their offense is just absolutely putrid, and I don't see Florida State having a shot to upset Notre Dame. Notre Dame. I've gone back and forth on this Notre Dame team. I've watched them a little. I don't think they're that great, but they're doing what they have to do to have a chance to make the playoffs. I mean, they're winning ball games.
Yeah,
it's not pretty.
I think they're pretty good, but pretty good against a weak schedule. And I think if they played a tougher one, they'd already have won or 2 losses.
If they actually played a full ACC schedule, or if they even played like an SEC or a Big Ten schedule, there's no way they go undefeated.
I think there isn't a Power 5 conference in all of college football that if they played a full schedule of all those teams, they'd have the record.
Yeah, if I look at the top teams in the actual Power 5 conferences, I look at Alabama. Obviously, nobody's beating them. So I don't think they win that one. I don't even know if they can beat Georgia. Really, I don't.
I don't think so. No.
And then I go to the ACC. Don't see them beating Clemson. I don't see that. I don't see that happening. I don't see them. ACC. Who's the second best team? Boston College, Syracuse. I mean, they have Syracuse next week, so we'll see if Syracuse is for real. Syracuse is the only team that's given Clemson anything this year so far, so that's actually going to be, I think, a very good matchup.
I don't know who the coach at Syracuse is.
Dino Babers.
Okay. He always knows. He knows what to do against Davos Swinney. I don't know why they always struggle against
Dino
Syracuse.
Babers is a Mike Leach disciple. Let's line Eric Gunter back there and just throw the football. Okay.
I don't know what it is, but he gives Clemson fits.
Dino Babers was a guy I really wanted at Tennessee.
That would have been cool.
Not just the last time, but even when they hired the idiot. I really liked Dino Babers. That's when he was at Bowling Green, and doing great things there. And then he gets the Syracuse job, and now he's got Syracuse, which is, as everyone knows, a basketball school, minus those like 4 or 5 years that they had Donovan McNabb back in the late 90s. They're always basketball, and they're actually really good at football.
And even then, they had McNabb playing basketball too. So
yeah, exactly. So they are really good at football right now, and Dino Babers doing a great job up there. I don't expect him to stay there much longer. I mean, that's just a place that's going to be tough to win long term.
Mm-hmm.
Dino Babers is too good of a coach.
It's the same thing with the Kansas job. If it opens up for you, you go, you take it, you elevate them to like 5 wins. And then you get out of Dodge.
Yeah, if you make a bowl game at Kansas, somebody's gonna come after you.
If you make a bowl game in Kansas, also you will never buy a drink in Lawrence, Kansas ever again. Yeah. Granted, it's Lawrence, Kansas, but it's something.
There's a team, in my opinion, that has a chance. That's in the top 4 right now. That has a chance to lose. I think they are the one that has the most chance to lose if anybody left. I think Clemson's gonna have a tough time against South Carolina. That game's always weird in the last game of the year. Yeah. I mean, that's always tough for those two teams. No matter who's the better team, it doesn't usually matter. Those two teams hate each other so much.
And then there's a familiarity there. You know, I mean, both of those coaches have been there long enough. It does get to be.
Playing a Will Muschamp coach team is the biggest headache.
Mm-hmm.
They're never great, but by God, they're always in every game they play. And it is absolutely frustrating just because his defense is always so good. His offense is always so bad. So that's why they're always in games, but sometimes don't always win them, and it's unbelievable.
Yeah, but all it takes is you shooting yourself in the foot,
and they take it.
And Muschamp will beat you.
Yeah, 100%. That's why he was successful when he was successful at Florida. The year that they went 11-1 was not because they out athleted people, but they just outsmarted people, man. And people don't give Will Muschamp the credit I think he deserves. I don't think he's a bad football coach. I think he's really good. He's not ever good enough to get to the level where he's going to be winning national championships, no matter where he is.
Yeah, Muschamp to me is a guy, I don't want him to be my head coach, but if he's my D coordinator, yeah, I'm cool with that.
I'm sure Auburn would still love to have him. When he was there that one year, they were top 10 in defense.
And it's been, what is it? It's been pretty downhill since then.
I mean, Kevin Still's done a pretty good job there, but it's not that good.
No.
It's not that good.
And the problem is, too, like Auburn's offense, when it's bad, their defense cannot get a chance to get off the field. So then it just exaggerates it.
That's another thing I did want to talk about, too. Speaking of Auburn, Gus Malzahn this week gets that wonderful dreaded vote of confidence from his AD saying that he will be the coach next year. Well,
wow, the kiss of death.
Obviously, no crap he's going to be your coach next year. You're not paying him $36 million.
To not coach? Yeah, that's...
because your athletic director is a moron and gives him a contract extension after not even making the playoff or winning the SEC. You beat Alabama. Okay, yep. Contract extension.
That'll tell you what it means to beat Alabama there. I mean, you just get blinded by...
And he does. I mean, he beats Alabama more than most, I would say.
True. But is that what you're coaching for? Are you coaching to beat Alabama every year and that's it?
You're Auburn. You coach to... Yeah, you want to beat Alabama, but you can't lose to one of the worst Tennessee teams ever, which you did.
Yeah.
At home.
It's not good. I mean,
what are you doing?
not winning football games.
But this is what Gus Malzahn does. It's kind of the same thing with Will Muschamp. Is he ever going to be great enough to get you over the hump? Probably not. You're Auburn. Go get you somebody who can win.
And that's the thing. There's only but so many of these great, championship contending coaches out there. But you got to do something. You're a big enough program. You can bring that kind of name in, and at least do your due diligence and look at all of the possible candidates. I mean, it's insane to me that we're at this stage. You know what Gus Malzahn is. We all know what Gus Malzahn is. And still he's getting paid as though he were somehow better than what he is.
Okay. I agree. I do want to go ahead and move on. We have about 6.5 minutes left in this segment. I want to talk a little Tennessee before we move on to in the last segment, just breaking down games, doing picks. Tennessee, Kentucky. This game, I said I wanted to break it down, and then not just because of Tennessee and being a Tennessee fan and a Tennessee alum, but because of Kentucky as well. Kentucky comes in at 7-2. This is uncharted territory for Kentucky since the late 80s or the mid 80s. Okay, this is the best start in Kentucky football. The best start in Kentucky history since 1984. So in 34 years, that was also the last time they beat Tennessee in Neyland. This is also the first time since 1950 they come into Neyland ranked. Since 1950.
If you take both teams' face value, they both score about 24 points a game.
Yeah, Kentucky's defense is going to be a problem. Josh Allen, who is the best pass rusher in the SEC, against a Tennessee offensive line, which has gotten worse because of injuries. And, first game of the year, you lose your center and have to move a guard to play center because you don't have a backup because the moron that was leading the team before couldn't recruit an offensive line. And then now you have, you lose Trey Smith again to the blood clots in the lungs, so now you don't have a left tackle. And you have three offensive linemen in the SEC at Tennessee that are playing in the SEC under 300 pounds.
First off, that seems like a missed opportunity for any coach from the Big 12. How did you manage to let any of those players escape your grasp? Also, how does that seem possible that you are in the SEC under 300 pounds? I actually don't think it's possible.
Well, welcome to the last 2 years of not having a strength and conditioning program.
Or a coach that could recruit worth a crap.
He could recruit, but he recruited the wrong kind of people. He recruited guys that fit his scheme that was infallible, which was a joke because that offensive scheme was an absolute
joke,
abomination of football.
Oh, okay, all right.
And watching Tennessee play under Butch Jones last year, there's $1. Under Butch Jones last year was absolutely
nightmarish.
It set American tackle football back 100 years.
I was going to say hellish, but okay.
But this Tennessee team here's the thing about this Tennessee team today. Which one's going to show up? Is it going to be the team that clearly was overlooking Charlotte last week and not thinking about that game at all because you get up 14-3 at halftime and just literally do nothing the rest of the game?
Yep. Me and Jason were talking about last week, 20 yards of rushing offense.
Which that's pretty normal. Tennessee can't run the football because they can't block nobody.
But it's Charlotte.
Top 15 defense in the country.
But it's Charlotte.
I understand. I'm just telling you that's the reason they can't do it. Charlotte has a good defensive line. They have a guy that's going to get drafted in the NFL. And Tennessee can't block anybody. I don't know if Tennessee's offensive line can block me right now.
Which is unfortunate. Because without any technique whatsoever, that shouldn't even be possible. But yeah, no, I worry about the offensive line there. Obviously, it's important to have it, but you've got to be able to do something in your offensive game to get you some room on the ground. Like what a lot of people do scheme wise is if you don't have the power up front, you do a lot of zone blocking, get holes.
They've tried.
How's it not working?
Because they're getting manhandled, and the problem is, then they try to get outside, but you only have one running back on your roster that is an outside runner, and he didn't play last week because he was hurt. So, Ty Chandler is going to be back for Tennessee this week, which is huge. Juwan Jennings is also healthy. He will play, and he did not play last week. I think he played a couple of snaps, and they didn't even throw him the ball. He just came in to block because he's good at that, and they didn't want to get him hurt worse than he already was. Tennessee's going to have to, if I'm Tennessee, I play the game plan that I played against South Carolina. South Carolina's got a good pass rush as well. Quick hitters. Get the ball out in space to your athletes. Your best position group on offense is your wide receivers. Your wide receivers are really good. Josh Palmer, Juwan Jennings. Those two are great, along with Marquez Callaway. Get them the ball. You don't have to go vertical against Kentucky. Kentucky doesn't allow vertical. That's just a Mark Stoops coach defense. They don't allow vertical plays. That's fine. Take what they give you. Now, fans probably aren't going to like throwing sideways, but that's what Kentucky gives you. They give you that. They give you quick slants. They give you things like that. You got it. You're going to have to nickel and dime them to death. And if you do that, guess who you're keeping off the field? Benny Snell.
Well, that you also too. You got to keep Bowden covered too. You can't let him catch as much as he's catching.
And also you want to get a two, maybe 3 possession lead. You know what I mean? A couple touchdowns and a field goal.
I think either way, because I personally don't think Kentucky's 7-2 good. I think they've lucked into a lot of wins. They lucked into that Missouri win. They had no business winning that football game. They realistically they have regressed the last couple of games. Benny Snell's averaging 5.1 yards per carry this year. The last 2 games he's averaging under 3.8 yards per carry. People are starting to figure it out. If I'm Tennessee, I put 8-9 in the box and say, throw it, Terry Wilson, because you can't.
Right. I mean, Terry Wilson would have trouble throwing the ball from me to you. He's incredibly inaccurate. And the thing is, like, you force them to play from behind and you take Benny Snell out of the game. Yeah. Like, if you can get a lead on them, that's one of the reasons why his carries have gone down. When Kentucky's been behind and having to come back, his yards per carry obviously has to go down because, I mean, there's nowhere for him to go.
Yeah, people stuff the box, make you beat them through the air. When we come back, what we're going to do, we're going to break down the games that we like. We're going to do picks. We're going to give you some betting advice, whether you actually want it or not. We're going to give that to you. You're listening to
This is your new opinion from Nick.
This is the Breakfast Blitz with Nick Leffew. I am Nick Leffew. Keon Rose, Jason Kirk joining me. We'll be right back on Nougat Radio 92.7 FM.
Traffic, news, and information. Nougat Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM.
3, 2, 1.
Chatter, Nougat Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
A deadly car wreck left a vehicle scattered in pieces at 24 westbound the Tennessee-Georgia line. It happened on Friday afternoon. Law enforcement says that a pickup truck crashed into a semi-truck. The semi's front end was completely obliterated, and the pickup truck was barely recognizable. One as-yet unidentified person was killed in that crash. An electrical fire forced the evacuation of the McDonald's on Hickson Pike. It happened on Friday afternoon. Firefighters say that an electrical junction box in the basement caught on fire. They had to use chemical extinguishers to put the fire out. No word on when they'll be back in business. Just a reminder, the Tennessee Valley and Northwest Georgia are under a freeze warning for this weekend. Meteorologists expect temperatures will get down even into the 20s during the nighttime hours. Remember to bring your pets inside. Russell Stroud, Nougat Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News now.
David Tulis, I made the move 1 o'clock every weekday afternoon, 1 till 3, Nougat Radio.
92.7 Nougat Radio, Chattanooga weather.
Expect a cool, wet, and foggy start to your Friday. Areas of morning rain will taper off by the afternoon. Highs actually will drop into the 40s later on tonight. Breezy, much colder, lows into the lower 30s. For Saturday, more sun, highs only 45 to 48 with a freeze likely by Sunday morning. It's apple season, and now is a great time to visit Apple Valley Orchards in Cleveland for some of the freshest apple cider and fried pies around. Open daily. Apple Valley Orchards, 472-3044. And I'm Soren Jean Thrall, Chief Meteorologist, at your 4.
Radio 92.7.
Where to go for lunch today? Go to the Top. The Top of the Hill Country Buffet offers a delicious lunch buffet every day. Golden fried chicken with mashed potatoes from scratch, daily fresh vegetables, a full salad bar with all the fixins, and fresh homemade cobbler. In addition to the buffet, Top of the Hill also offers a full menu. Plus, kids eat for $5 all day. Top of the Hill is located in Ringgold on Remco Shops Lane and is open 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Sunday. Where are you going for lunch? Go to the Top.
Even if you like your job, there are some things that can drive you nuts. Like the anonymous coward who steals your lunch from the break room fridge. Or maybe Tyler, the IT guy, who gives you that condescending look when you tell him that your computer is acting up again, as if somehow it's your fault. You put up with these clowns every single day. But what happens when you've had enough? That's the day you decide to retire. At least that's the hope, right? But will you be able to retire? Can you afford to retire? That's why you need to talk to Ron and Christy Adams at One Family Financial. They can't do anything about Cody, that moron who heats up fish in the microwave, but they can strategize with you on how to get the most out of your 401k or pension, how to grow your money without losing your shirt in the market, and how to help make your money last in retirement. Talk to Ron and Christy today about whether you'll be ready to retire when you finally had it with seeing Ethan walk out of the bathroom again without washing his hands. Gross. Call Ron and Christy Adams at One Family Financial, 423-710-2009, 423-710-2009.
Nuga Radio.
Roar into Talladega.
Hello? Who am I speaking with? Eric. You're our winner. Really?
You'll receive tickets for all 3 races between the Camping World Truck Series, Xfinity Series, and the Monster Energy Cup races.
Holy cow.
In addition, you'll receive a 2-night stay at the Microtel Hotel and restaurant accommodations at 2 area restaurants.
Nuga Radio.
Roar into Talladega.
Nuga Radio.
92.7.
Your NASCAR racing station. Nuga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nuga Radio
92.7.
Listen to that. That's the sound of power and the call of the open road. That's the sound of the newly designed 2019 Indian Chieftain Limited. Yeah, Indian. It's more than a bike. It's an experience and an American icon. The place to find it, Indian Motorcycle of Chattanooga, along with their entire new 2019 line. The open road is calling. Answer the call. Go to Indian Motorcycle of Chattanooga. Just look for the sign on 153 and Amnicola. Indian Motorcycle, the true American original.
Join Nuga Radio and the Gridiron Gang live from 7 to 9 at Starbucks at 10 North on the North Shore. We're talking all things high school football. There's a specialty brew or refresher weekly inspired by the game of the week. Sweet treats, extended hours all season long, and we're pet friendly. Portions of all proceeds support local schools and educational scholarships as well as after-school programs. It's football time in Tennessee. Join us every Thursday live from 7 to 9 at Starbucks, 10 North, your North Shore neighborhood living room.
The kids are back in school, routine has returned, and we've shifted our thoughts to the fast approaching holiday season. Are you hosting? Want to spruce up before your guests arrive? Whether you want new color and exciting wallpaper or elegant window treatments, the designers at Chattanooga Paint and Decorating can help. With brands like York, Tebow, Graber, and Carroll, we know you'll find something you love. Stop by Chattanooga Paint and Decorating today. It's really more than just a paint store. On Hicks and Pike, across from Valvoline, or online at ChattanoogaPaint.com.
Nuga Radio.
Are you brain dead? Still voting for pathetic liberals? Take 3 hours of Sean Hannity from 3 to 6.
Nuga Radio.
Then call us in the morning between 9 and 11.
92.7.
Nuga Radio.
Welcome back to the Breakfast Blitz. I'm Nick Leffew. This is our final segment. Keon Rose, Jason Kirk joining me. We are going to we're going to go over a few games. We've already broken down a few, but we're going to do some picks. We're going to talk about them, give some score predictions, do all that stuff. Pick against the spread, for and against the spread. We'll go some over-unders. We'll do all that good stuff. Coming up, producer extraordinaire. Do we got our games pulled up yet, or do Keon and I need to fill some time?
And anyone who's listening who is using our advice to bet,
please don't.
Take it with a giant salt lick's worth of salt.
Hush.
I mean,
hush.
The cubes that they give horses.
If you do win, we expect part of that money. I mean, a good chunk of
I'm not going to lie. I'm usually pretty good against the spread. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm usually pretty good at picking the spread. But if you want, Jason, do we have Do we have our games and our point spreads and our over-unders pulled?
Well, I have the games pulled up.
God.
I don't have the point spread yet. Mainly because I was too busy running my mouth during the break.
Yeah, you were. Producer extraordinaire.
Then we got talking about Sam. And then at one point there, I do believe I fell on the floor from where we're talking about Sam. So, yeah, I'm not. Look, I'll be honest with you. I'm tired.
Mm-hmm. You know what I hear?
Excuses?
Uh-huh.
Kiss my butt. Anyways, Kansas and Kansas State, do we even care about that?
No. Find me some
Kansas State 10-point favorite, and they're going to win by like 20.
Look at that, Jason. It took me 2 seconds. I pulled it up.
I've got TCU stats. I've got it all right here in front of me now. I can talk and pull up things on the internet.
I would like to do this noon o'clocker.
Vandy, Missouri?
No. Yes, but no. The one that has a top 10 team in it.
West Virginia, TCU.
Yes. Okay. So what TCU? Don't worry, Jason. I'll lead the segment.
Hey, time out. I've been here Sunday night covering the president. Monday night, I was here for a minute. Tuesday night, I was here until midnight for the elections. Wednesday night, I helped kick off Donna's show. Thursday night, I was listening to you morons talking to Starbucks.
Okay.
Last night, you and I hosted the game. So come on.
I just heard 6 excuses.
I used to be here every night when I had the daily
for
show.
2 hours.
Now I'm on weekends. I have so much time.
Yeah. So here we go.
Don't ask me for nothing else.
West Virginia TCU. West Virginia comes in as a home favorite at 11.5 points. Over under set at 56. That seems kind of low. Over under set at 56. Take the over on that one. That West Virginia might score that many points. 11.5, Keon, given West Virginia.
No, West Virginia covers completely. And TCU, I know they're 4-5, but like defensively, they're not horrible.
They're all, with Gary Patterson, you're always going to have a pretty good defense.
Yeah, but man, I've seen TCU have some games just get away from them this year where if you have a big second, third quarter, I mean, they just fall apart. Yeah. They just completely fall apart. 11.5 isn't even enough points. I think West Virginia covers by a lot.
Yeah, Vegas going to lose some money on that one. I agree. 11.5 point favorite. West Virginia covers. Yeah, I agree.
Vanderbilt and Missouri. Missouri is the 16-point favorite.
I don't even know. The over-under set at 63. I guess they're thinking Drew Lock's back and going to just throw over everybody. I don't know what to tell you with this Missouri team, man. They go out. They look like absolute dog crap against Kentucky 2 weeks ago. And then this week, and then last week, they looked really good against Florida in Gainesville. And I don't know what Missouri team to... I feel like this is really high. 16-point favorite, Missouri. I actually am going to pick Vanderbilt to cover that. I do think Missouri does win. I think Vanderbilt keeps it within 2 touchdowns, though, just because I think that Missouri team that we saw last week was a little bit of a fluke. Over under 63. Oh, God. I'm going to go under on that one. I don't think 63. I think it's going to be lower than that. I think you're looking at more like a 24-10 type game.
I think Missouri does cover, and there is a possibility of a 24-10 type game, but I will offer a devil's advocate justification of the over-under being 63, which is Missouri's 119th ranked passing defense.
I know their defense is atrocious. I understand that, but is Vanderbilt offense? I mean, Kyle Shermer has taken a huge step back this year. It's not like their offense is...
Their offense is ranked 83rd overall, 71st in passing. It's not great, but when you're playing 119, you might have a chance. I don't know that necessarily puts you in elite territory, but, you know...
But you don't even know the Kyle Shermer you're going to get now. You don't. It's either 1 week he's on top of it, the next week...
the Pat Shermer you get as a head coach. See what I did there?
I see that.
Oh, Shermer problems.
And then the next week, Eastridge could be, the quarterback for Eastridge is, better. So,
okay. So we'll move on. Next nooner, we'll do a SEC game. We'll do Ole Miss, Texas A&M. Ole Miss is a 13-point dog on the road. 67.5 is set at the over/under. God, well, Ole Miss can score a lot of points.
Yeah,
they can't stop anybody. Keon, what you got here? I got to think about this one for a second. 13-point favorite for Texas A&M at home.
I do like A&M to cover. Ole Miss's defense, like you said, is not just bad; it's horrid. And I don't know if I've ever seen an Ole Miss defense look that bad, and I feel like I have seen some, but here are Ole Miss's defensive numbers. They are ranked 124th overall. They're 124th in passing, and they're 110th against the run. The A&M is going to stomp Ole Miss's defense into the ground, but also on offense, they're 6th overall, 4th in passing, and 45th on the ground. It's like they're going to be able to score their share of points. First off, I think that over-under, I think we're going over it.
With these two teams, I think that's easy.
By a decent amount. But at least A&M has a respectable defense, so they ought to cover the 13 points pretty easily, in my opinion.
Best quarterback, I'm sorry, Jason, I'm going to say this right now. The best quarterback in the SEC plays for Ole Miss. Jordan Ta'amu is absolutely outstanding. I love this kid. This kid.
Lord.
He's a gunslinger. Very similar, reminds me a lot of Brett Favre, the way he throws the football around. Love Jordan Ta'amu. I'm actually going to go Ole Miss to cover. I think Texas A&M wins. I just think Ole Miss can score with anybody.
Yeah.
So I think 13 points is tough. I mean, they're both teams are 5-4. Ole Miss has played a lot better than people thought they would this year. So I think A&M wins at home, but I think it's under a 2-touchdown game. I think Ole Miss covers.
I have to agree.
Well, that's fun. Yeah, agreeing.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I just think Ole Miss's defense is so bad. I just don't see how they cover.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I can see both ways going down. Let's move to another noon o'clocker. South Carolina traveling to Gainesville, Florida. Looked like absolute poop
garbage
last week. Against Missouri. Florida is a 6.5 point favorite at home. Over under set at 54. South Carolina comes in at 5-3. Florida 6-3. Keon, what are you thinking?
This one this feels like a trick game, like one of those trap games. Because I still have not completely bought into Florida, and every time I say that, Florida makes me look very silly. But I still haven't completely bought in, because I can't buy into Felipe Franks. Like he's a roller coaster quarterback, and I hate roller coaster quarterbacks.
He wouldn't have been the starter this week, except for Kyle Trask, a non-contact injury, and ends his season during practice this week. Yeah, I'm with you, Keon.
I suppose they could cover. It's 6.5. That's a touchdown. Could they beat South Carolina by a touchdown or 10 points? Yeah, they can. That's not crazy. Also, the over-under being at 54.
Seems
definitely under, yeah.
I'm actually going to take South Carolina to not only cover, but win outright. South Carolina is actually playing pretty good football right now. Florida is not.
Florida's playing okay defense.
I don't trust Felipe Franks as far as I can throw him. South Carolina's defense is too good. And Jake Bentley is good enough. Dowdle running the football is good enough. I think South Carolina goes on the road and wins.
Yeah, well, you know how I'm about Florida. I'm also one of those element guys when it comes to Florida. I don't care who's playing them, the practice field, whatever.
Yeah.
South Carolina, right now they're decent. And I don't know if Florida can come off of that horrible loss to Missouri last week. They've still got to be rattled about that loss.
Well, not only are they going to be rattled, they don't have a quarterback. And I don't know if it's Emory Jones' time or not, but they got to figure something out there. I could see Florida ending up losing 2 out of their last 3 games here and going 7-5 when they started off really hot at 6-1.
And I too think Florida will lose by more than 7. I'm going to say 2 touchdowns.
Well, that's bold. I don't know about all that, but I do think South Carolina wins.
I don't think Florida has their crap together yet.
Last noon game I wanted to talk about here is a top 20 matchup. Ohio State travels to East Lansing to play Michigan State. Michigan State is given 3.5 points at home, which means Ohio State is a 3.5 point favorite. 48 is set at the over-under. Big Ten football really makes me mad. I hate Big Ten football. I honestly don't know what to do with this. I think Ohio State covers. I think they win by like a touchdown. But they don't look good doing it, and Michigan begins to start licking their chops for 2 weeks down the road.
Ohio State wins the game. I at 3.5 points, it's tough, but I think it's going to be close. I think Michigan State covers. And the reason why I feel this way is in large part because of that defense. They are first against the rush in the nation, which is crazy to say that Michigan State's actually doing anything right this season, because this has been just a god-awful season for them.
And, I mean, Ohio State can't run the football. Yeah,
so this is, again against the Ohio State team that's already bad at running. Obviously, you've got Haskins, you're third in passing, but Michigan State offensively can't score. I mean, it's offensive incompetence they need to start literally firing everyone on that offensive staff and just start over. But D'Antonio likes to hire his buddies. That's who's running the show, and that's why they can't score.
I agree. I just that line just changed, by the way. Literally changed.
Went to 4.
It went up a half point to 4. Does that change your opinion at all, Keon?
Well, that actually helps my opinion because it makes it more likely that they'll cover.
Yeah, I'm still gonna say Ohio State covers. And I think they're gonna win by a touchdown. But that's amazing that line literally just changed. Jason, do you got any games afternoon?
Well,
that you want to talk about?
Well, I'm glad no one cares about my opinion.
I'm sorry. I figured it would probably be the same as ours. Is it not?
Okay, well, you win.
And just in this particular instance, because Michigan State is so bad at defense, they're 111th.
Let's see here. 3:00 games. Just one. Middle Tennessee and UTEP. MTSU.
I mean, I've seen UTEP play in person. They are god awful.
Yeah, horrible. 1-8.
Middle Tennessee State's going to cover. I think 13.5. They easily win by 2 touchdowns. I think there's going to be more.
Yeah, possibly 3.
Yeah,
UTEP is 1-8. This is not an accident.
I mean, Tennessee put 56 points on them, and we can't score against nobody. So,
yeah. Another top 25 game: Baylor at Iowa State.
Okay.
Iowa State.
Hey, Iowa State 17-point favorites. That seems a little high to me. Although I do like Matt Campbell as a head coach. I think that might be your guy that you're going to see the next head coach at Ohio State, Matt Campbell. I think Baylor keeps it within 17, though. I think it's more like a 14-point game.
Yeah, I think it's a one possession game. I think Baylor's in it up until the very end. Matt Rule has got his team playing.
Love Matt Rule, man.
Very well. They're playing much better football now than when they started the season.
Good Christian man, Matt Rule.
And Jalen Hurd, 756 yards, 4 touchdowns, averaging 13 yards a catch. He's having a good year.
He wanted to play receiver at Tennessee, by the way, but the moron told him no.
How's that? Again, I don't know how it's possible for you to do that.
He's going to get drafted to play wide receiver in the NFL.
And he'll be probably pretty solid.
He'll be good.
Yeah.
He's lean now. He's tall enough, dude. He's 6'4". For goodness sake. I mean, my God. All right.
Another top 25 game, Washington State at Colorado.
Okay. This one I'm excited about. Love me some Mike Leach. Mike Leach is my favorite coach in college football. I love Mike Leach. What's the over-under? I'm sorry. I got really excited.
Got super excited.
Not the over-under.
Over-under 61.5.
Well, Washington State might score that themselves.
Is 6.5.
For Washington State.
Washington
State covers. I think Washington State's trying to make a statement. I would love to see them in the playoff. Washington State wins by 2 touchdowns over a Colorado team that is reeling a little bit after a hot start. Washington State goes on the road, takes care of business. I'm excited to see the Fighting Mike Leaches try to get to the playoffs. Swing your swords.
Wow.
Pirates. All right, here we go.
I will say this, though. Colorado can really throw the ball. I think that this game is probably closer than a lot of people think.
Washington State, top 25 defense.
Top 25 defense, but I will say this. Quarterback, Steven Montez, 2,396 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. Those are numbers comparable to your boy Tamu. So, I mean, we're talking about a guy who can really play.
Look, you're right. But Washington State, I think, is the cream of the crop in that conference.
Gardner Minshew is
Minshew.
God, he's so good.
Who Mike Leach stole from Alabama.
Yep, which is beautiful. And it only makes it better to me.
And told me, said, man, you want to come throw for 4,000 yards? Come play for me.
Come play for me.
And guess what? He's going to break that. I think he's going to probably get that 4,000 yard mark. We got 3 games left. How many yards he got?
He's got. Hold on, I just moved away from it for a second. He's got 3,600. 3,517. So he'll probably get that by
today.
Next week.
He'll get that today.
He'll get that today.
If not by next weekend.
All right, my next game. I want to do this one. one of my favorite games every year, Bedlam. Oklahoma State, Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a 21.5-point favorite. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
But this game is always closer than it should be, no matter who's the better team.
Right. My favorite part of this is the over-under, which is at 80.
Which is also probably about right.
Probably not even high enough in my opinion.
I love Mike Gundy as well. Another one of my favorite coaches. I actually think they're going to cover. Oklahoma State does. I think it's more like a 17 to 21 point game, which is just right under that 21.5 point line.
For all the reasons that I don't like Big Ten football is why I love Big 12 football. This is going to be a shootout. It's got shootout written all over it. Kyler Murray, 31 touchdowns this season.
All right, 3 minutes 45 seconds. Give me that one. Give me your pick on that one, Jason.
Oklahoma.
Okay, so I'm going to move. We're going to do just a couple.
One of the Oklahoma teams will win.
Just a couple of the other games. Number 16, Mississippi State travels to number 1, Alabama. Alabama is a 23.5 point favorite at home. Keon.
Call me crazy. I think Mississippi State can cover.
Yeah.
I agree with that one. I think Mississippi State can cause some problems. I think Alabama wins pretty easily, but I think Alabama
wins
is
by
the
multiple
worst.
possessions.
Alabama is the worst at not covering just at the end because Nick Saban takes his foot off the gas. I think it's more like a 21 point game.
Fitzgerald can be a problem, though. I mean, we said it a while ago.
He is, but it doesn't matter because Alabama's just that much better than everybody else.
Rutgers and Michigan?
No.
Boo.
It's a 37.5 point line.
Well, just talking top 25, Michigan, Rutgers, Michigan win.
Michigan will probably win by 40.
There's some interesting games around 7 o'clock that I think.
I want to do one more 3:30 game, obviously. Kentucky at Tennessee. Tennessee given 5 points at home. Kentucky 5-point favorite. Keon.
I picked Tennessee to win outright. I'm not a big believer in Kentucky myself. And it's easier to eliminate a running back than a quarterback from a game. They can make life difficult for Benny Snell and force Kentucky to throw the ball, and that's not going to work.
Tennessee really bad at stopping the run. I think Tennessee does cover just because I think it's a thing with Kentucky. They struggle to blow Tennessee out just as a mental thing, but I do think Kentucky wins by 3 points.
I think we'll see another Missouri-Kentucky game.
Oh, God. Don't put that on me.
Well, I think Tennessee will win. It'll be a rough win, but I think Tennessee will pull it out.
It's not a rough win. If Tennessee wins this game, I'm excited.
Well, I hate Kentucky with a passion. So, I would Anderson County Community College.
Auburn, Georgia. Number 24, Auburn goes to Athens. Between the hedges to take on Georgia. Georgia, 13.5 point favorite. Keon?
Yeah, Georgia. Auburn is a joke at this point. And, Georgia, they're still the second best team in the SEC, still the best team in the East.
There's no gas.
Georgia covers. I think they win by 17 to 21 points. Jason?
There's no gas in the Gus bus. They're just taking it up on a limp.
All right, we're going to do one more game here. I want to do the top 20 matchup. Number 2, Clemson. This is where College Game Day is. Number 2, Clemson travels to Boston, Massachusetts to take on Boston College. Boston College given 18.5 at home. Clemson, 18.5 point favorite. Keon?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Boston College to cover. I think Clemson wins, obviously. Clemson is way too good a football team to lose to Boston College. But 18.5 is a lot for me to say that's going to wind up being, they're going to score 19, 20 points more than Boston College.
There is a term that has slowly gone away over the last couple of years called Clemsoning. Clemson is very good at losing a game they shouldn't.
And this very well could be that
Clemson
game.
loses tonight, guys.
That's a bold prediction.
Clemson loses tonight. Boston College is really good. They're playing well. Expect that place to be rowdy and cold. Clemson is going to be completely out of their element. I really think Boston College wins that game. I could be completely wrong. This is maybe me picking with my heart a little bit to see some chaos, but I think that's going to happen.
We all
bold strategy, Cotton.
Yeah. See if it pays off for him. So
I've got.
Who you got, Jason? You got 10 seconds.
Clemson.
Clemson to cover.
Sweeney, Clemson to cover. Clemson to win.
They're running the ball well. Travis Etienne's running well, and they can also throw it well. Also, game that we didn't have on the board to pick: Texas beats the brakes off of Texas Tech today.
I don't know why that line's so low.
And LSU beats the brakes off Arkansas, Sam.
In a game that nobody cares about.
That's right.
LSU, Arkansas. All right, so you've been listening to the Breakfast Blitz with Nick Leffew, Keon Rose, Jason Kirk joining me. Listen to We Got You Covered Radio with Scott Schrader coming up next after the national news. Have a great day.
Peace.
Traffic, news, and information. Nuga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM.
3, 2, 1.
Chatta, Nuga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4, 92.7 FM's news now.
A deadly car wreck left the vehicle scattered in pieces at 24 westbound the Tennessee-Georgia line. It happened on Friday afternoon. Law enforcement says that a pickup truck crashed into a semi-truck. The semi's front end was completely obliterated, and the pickup truck was barely recognizable. One as-yet unidentified person was killed in that crash. And